Hello, good afternoon. It's me, Mrs. Hossfeld. I'm here today just to go over a little bit. As you know, we're having class asynchronously today, or you're doing your work on your own while I'm in meetings. So today we're going to let you not, don't worry about doing American history. You can just continue to do your OLS. So we're not going to have a little American history lesson, but we still are going to have an ELA lesson. So please make sure you listen carefully, try to engage, and never give up. Okay. What we're going to do today, though, by the end of today, you should be able to write an opinion paper and bring up your grade with a little bit of extra credit, shall we say, or just a grade that can absolutely not hurt you as long as you do the work. So don't forget our academic glossary. This week we want to remember the words about, these are kind of about theater, right? Narrator, a person telling the story. In our definition, it says this person is not a character in the story. However, they can be. They can be a person who pops in and out of the story. They come out to narrate and then they go back in the story. However, they don't have to be an actual part of the story. They could be a third party. You don't even know their name. So drama, it's a genre, and it's a fictional story that's acted out through dialogue and performance, okay? And it could be a comedy, it could be a tragedy, it doesn't have to be one type, but it goes through the dialogue and performance. So just think of your favorite drama TV show, and you probably have it there. Emphasize, give a special attention to or give importance to. Okay, that means, just something that stands out a little. All right, today I am writing an opinion paper about a story so that I can identify opinion versus facts of a story. And I'll know I've got it if I can explain my view using text evidence from the story. And the guiding question is opinions. Oh, I have opinions. Okay, and of course, our goal today and every day this year is to assure that we grow by one academic year every year. Okay, so let's activate our prior knowledge. You're going to be writing, so we need to remember the writing process. And it's pretty easy. You probably have it down. You last year, I know you didn't have to take the test, but fourth grade is the writing test in STAR. So your curriculum probably talked a lot about writing last year. So some of this will just be pure reminder and review for you, okay? But a good writer always pre-writes. They get their thoughts down on paper. They're like, what do I want to say about this topic? Okay. You may use something like a spider chart where you put your main idea in the middle and then you put supporting ideas out on the outside. You may do an outline. Okay, you may do an outline, or you may just there's all sorts of charts. You may do a bubble chart where you go from one to another, where you're like, I have this idea, then I have this idea, I have this idea, I have this idea, something like that. Whatever you do to draft your story to get it from A to B to C is a good draft. Okay. The third part of the process is editing. This is the part of the process where you correct your spelling and punctuation. Okay. Because when you're drafting, you're not worried about spelling or punctuation or how your handwriting or your typing looks. You're just worried about getting it down on paper. You start doing that in the editing process. And following that is revising, where you make your words translate, you make everything smooth, okay? You might rearrange the sentence order. You may change words out. Me personally, I find that I do a lot of this together. I start out with my editing. I see something, I have to revise it. I revise it then because I don't want to lose my idea. And then I go back to editing. So you can go straight through and edit and then straight through and revise. It's totally up to you. Okay. But you work on those after the draft. And then finally is publishing. When I was a kid, all that meant is that I rewrote it very neatly because I didn't have a typewriter or, in class or a computer, And when I say typewriter, I took computers in high school, and I also took a typing class because we mainly used typewriters back then. So anyway, but you guys have the option of publishing using Word, using Word documents or whatever, where you have in there things that can help you make it look really pretty and clean. Always take advantage of it if you can. And if you have to handwrite something out, just make sure it's neat. Make sure it's neat. Okay, so our thought today, we want to discuss, what is your opinion? And we're talking about fairness. Take a look at this picture. Why do you think that little boy is making that face and the little girl is smiling? Okay, does that look fair? Of course, I was always told the best presents come in small packages, but who knows? Is this fair? So what are your thoughts about fairness? And why is it important to be fair? Can you think of an instance when unfairness was justified? That is a good question. That is a good question. Make a connection. Can you think of a time when you thought you were being treated unfairly? Okay. And finally, jot down some ideas about fairness. Is it always right to be fair? Okay. I'd like you to take a minute or two. You can stop the recording and go ahead and write this down. And join me back once you have written down some answers to these questions in your pre-write. All right, thank you for coming back. So let's read this poem, Guilty. I'm doing a little bit of pre-read. I notice it is a poem. I notice there's 25 lines. I notice the title. First line is, it's not fair. So I know what this is going to start. Oh, last line says that too. So I think I understand the main idea, right? I know the genre. Tell me why I know it's a poem. Okay. What's the point of view? Is it a first person or a third person? And tell me how you know. And tell me what, I think we know what the main character believes, right? It's right here in the top and bottom, but tell me more and tell me what your evidence is. I want you to think about that and jot down some notes as I'm reading this and as you read the poem yourself. Okay? And we're just going to read what you're going to be thinking about when you write. Do you agree with how the main character feels? Give me 2 reasons why. So think about that. I'm going to read it. Guilty. It's not fair. My little sister glows. She has a reputation that reaches out to others, shakes their hand, and lets them know she could do no wrong. I told them, Mom and Dad both, that she took it from the pan. When they noticed the void, like a pothole in the middle of a street, one cookie gone from the cookie sheet. My father shook his head at me. My mother gave her a hug. They sent her off to play, to enjoy the day. My free time was taken away, sent to my room to stay. I felt frustrated with their frowns. Why was she always blameless? I thought while Mom wiped my hands with a wet paper towel, browning with each stroke from chocolate on my fingertips. I stomped to my room, my feet crashing like thunder. It's not fair. That was kind of fun. Um, Thank you so much for listening to me do that. So we are, I agree. I would like you to write on this the way the character feels. Give me 2 reasons why. I agree, disagree with the main character because. Go ahead and write your answers. We're not going to use Padlet. We're going to use Go Formative. Okay, so here is your Go Formative code. Okay, You, of course, go to goformative.com and you use the joint code BKC4X3. All right. So when you complete that, make sure you use time for any missing, not mastered, or overdue OLS lessons. And already caught up, use the time to work on the work that's due today. And when you finish, go ahead and read a book in the big universe library. In the meantime, have a great day. And thank you so much for your time. I'll see you soon.